I got to thank everybody for coming. We've got some people that have come from a good distance as well to come and support this project that we're working on here, and we really appreciate it. We got quite a lineup, so let's just get after it. We don't want you to have to miss the entire wonderful day. So what are we going to do? We're going to have a presentation. It's going to be about 30 to 40 minutes. Some of it is me, and then we have some wonderful guest speakers. After that is all done, we're going to have a question and answer session. So save up your questions, and they can be for anybody that made a presentation here. And then we're going to have the official annual general meeting just after that. There isn't much going to go on, I don't think. So it won't take long. It looks like 30 minutes or so, and we'll be done. So that's it. So who do we have? Well, Mayor Adams. Congratulations on your acclamation this year.
It was tough.
That was good stuff. And we're going to have a message from the Chamber of Commerce from Corby Lamb. He's the board chair and president. And just to kind of get the racing thing going here, we got Chris Sharp telling us all about what goes on up there in Port McNeill on the airport and what they've got planned. And we're very much honored to have the mayor of Port McNeill, Gabby Wickstrom, and she's, I think, going to tell us about what it does for their city. Good stuff. So I always have to go through this and tell you what our purpose is. We'll have a look at what the membership results are here, what we've done, and maybe what's next. And of course, then the guest speakers, then we'll have questions after everything else. So our purpose. Vancouver Island Motorsports Association brings motorsports enthusiasts together to create a permanent drag racing facility on Vancouver Island. We've heard it before, but I think we got to keep reminding ourselves what's going on. And the old deal here, have that on the website too. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. So I hope some of you are scared out here. I know I get that little bit of fear in me regularly. So our membership, since the last AGM, we got to the 1,000 number, so we should all congratulate ourselves. I'm going to turn around on this thing. It's pretty small, but I'm in the way there of a few people. But the North Island's still the strongest, but Comox Valley pretty good. Mid-Island right up there. Capital Region, we could use a little help, but I think it's up like 3 times what it was last year at this time. And then BC Mainland and others up here, 1 from the Yukon, 8 from Alberta, 1 from Saskatchewan, a couple from the US, one's in North Carolina, the other in Washington State, and the long distance award is getting tougher and tougher to get, folks, because we got one in Australia. And he had to fight it out to get to be a member because he said when he was trying to sign up, he couldn't get the country page to change. So he was right, the website wasn't working properly and we got it fixed. So what happened in 2018? Well, we had our 3rd birthday. January 13th. We did some car shows. We were in Victoria at Rock and Roll for Little Souls. It was a very nice event. The Perk Center, I think it was there, and quite a show. It was where a lot of those new members came from. We got some good support from people. We have folks here all the way from Victoria. I wonder what long distance award would be here today. Who's from far away? Saanich? That's good. Saskatchewan, wow. All right. Good stuff. We also did Qualicum and the Wings and Wheels show here in Campbell River and the North Island Cruisers show. And we always sign up new members at those shows. It's good for us, and we sure have good support from the racers who bring their cars out and let the people enjoy them. So we also did the business case and feasibility study that was done by McElhaney Consulting. We got it completed. We did consult with the First Nations. We're still working on that. The official community plan and zoning application have been worked on and somewhat done. We spent some money doing it, I know that. We did the city open house. That was the one that was put on by the city, and then our open house was for the airport tenants, everybody within, I think it's 100 meters of the airport, that we are required to have a open house for. It went reasonably well. We had a local election, and as I said, acclamation for the mayor. There was one change on city council, and one of our very own people here, Kermit Dahl, became a councillor. So congratulations to Kermit. And thanks to Charlie Cornfield, Ron Kerr for being here as well from council. Thank you. So what else? We had a little change in the duties of the city staff. I don't think the staff really changed, but the duties changed, and who I dealt with changed. I've got Ron Bowles over here now that is my contact person, and he's been working pretty hard for me, I think. I hope so. We'll see. We'll see if he's going to like it after. And we had a change in the checklist. You guys all remember the checklist. We were all excited about checking off those things that we had to do, and we're going to go straight there. So in 2017, we received this checklist, and I'm not going to go over every item. I'm just going to say that there was quite a few that say complete beside them, some that weren't, and we were working on them, and it was all fun. And then Ron and I had a meeting, and Ron started talking about the checklist, and he's talking about some stuff that I didn't know about. I said, "Are we working off the same checklist?" He said, "Oh yeah, we must be." So I said, "Well, you send me the checklist." So he did. You notice the print's smaller? There's a few more items. There's a few more details there. One of them that was very important was, it's down about the middle, it says new and complete. That was, it says Transport Canada, it was actually NAV Canada. We had to apply to NAV Canada, as anyone building around the airport has to. And we did the application and received approval from NAV Canada. So that was a good one. One of the things that changed was the funding milestone. They wanted it up to 100% from 80%. We haven't really talked about it. We're not trying to get funding right now because we haven't got any place to build anything. But as we keep working towards that, we have a lot of people that have said nice things. And we'll be knocking on their door. So what else? The application to amend the official community plan. I'm one of the few people, I think, that have read that official community plan from end to end. And I did it the first time because I was on the airport authority, and I wanted to see how it dealt with the airport. And I think the word airport is in it twice. So it's there, but I think I fussed about that when I was on the airport authority. And now, from what I understand, it needs to be amended to allow us to have a motorsports facility up there, and I still don't know. I still don't understand why, but I have to accept that, I'm guessing. So we actually, I think the one where it says application complete, we did apply to have that amendment started, and if I remember correctly, it's a fairly significant fee. I don't know. We'll see further in here. But we did that. So in a way, we feel a little bit stuck right now. There's another thing called the Crown Grant on the land. Back in 1966, when the land was given to the municipality of Campbell River, it was for airport purpose, it said, in 3 little words that were hand typed in there, all the rest of the legalese that was in there, but it says for airport purpose. That seems to be causing us a bit of an issue, but I'll probably let Andy tell us all about that, or not, I don't know. So I mentioned earlier there the city open house and the effect of the city open house, the idea behind this. And when we started with this whole proposal, I remember talking to the mayor and council and all kinds of people and saying, this is a project for us to do together. We're going to be partners. You guys have got the land. We're going to invest all this money and time and work and do all this, and what a team. And so I had a dream. Anyway, I thought the headline would say something like this: local not-for-profit Island Group proposes $5 million motorsport facility that'll bring $5 million annually to the local economy. Sounds pretty exciting, doesn't it? It'd be really nice if that was what came out of that open house, and unfortunately, we never saw what the open house was going to have for a presentation until we were there, and I got surprised, and I think the mayor even got surprised by some of it. So they had 10 signs up that kind of described what was going to go on, and what the people saw was, in a nutshell, in my opinion, Racing Group wants $360,000 per year, $900,000 for a road and fence, $35,000 to $55,000 in tax release from the taxpayers. Oh yeah, and it's going to be noisy. So that wasn't quite the message we wanted to get out. We wanted the big, how good it was going to be for the economy and everything. And unfortunately, it seems like a lot of the people went away with this message, and it was understandable because the boards more or less insinuated that we asked for $360,000 a year in tax relief. I'd like to say that we actually offered $1 more than they're getting for rent out there right now, and it was kind of I don't know, we thought that it would be a kind of dealt with like the museum or anything like that, where the rent is pretty much nothing or close to. So we didn't really talk about that. I have to admit to saying, as far as the road goes, shouldn't you be providing access to the leased land that we're gonna spend $5 million on? So maybe I, in casual conversation, said, I want a road. And as far as the fence goes, it's airport security. So I have no idea really that they'd want us to provide that fence. But there is a cost involved, so I do understand that. And the $35,000 to $55,000 in tax relief would probably be based on the $360,000 per year. That is what rent was supposed to be for that piece of land. It is a large piece of land. It would be the largest piece of land to be leased out there at the airport. But if I remember correctly from my time on the airport authority, the rent that is received for everything else out at that airport, including the terminal building and the airlines and all those little businesses that are out there, adds up to about $220,000 or $250,000 a year. So they do have a math formula. They have to treat everybody the same. So in fact, maybe the relief that they're talking about is $360,000, but like I say, they ain't getting nothing for it right now. So I'm being a little negative. I wish I wasn't, but there you go. It's a funny thing about communication. We're not just responsible for what we say, we're responsible for what they hear. So I take responsibility for somehow allowing that kind of a communication go out. I don't know that I had any real control over it, but it's unfortunate, and it's we know that there's people that are going to be against everything, and we just didn't want to encourage them. Anyway, moving on. What do we do? Well, consulting costs. I thought I didn't want to stay negative, but here we go. Noise study was in there. We'll just zip through them. There's about $44,750 have gone into consulting costs. The nice thing is the noise study was paid for, half paid for by the city. So, and when we did the noise study, the good thing about that was that it was kind of a go or no-go situation. And after we got the results of the noise study, it was a go. So unfortunately, we got some people that don't think that it's quite as, it's been called flawed and stuff like that, but it's a real study and it's real numbers, and my point of view, and I'd say our point of view, is we don't want to build a facility where we're going to have noise problems forever and ever and people complaining. And that's one of the reasons that the land that we're on there was chosen. It has a natural berm between the city and where the racetrack is. And on top of that, we're going to build a berm. We could put a sound wall in. We could control sound out there. And we promise, unlike the airplanes, we won't fly over your house. So that's kind of where we're at there. But your support has paid for all this, all those $50 membership fees, and the ongoing renewals and everything is what's paying for all that. So thank you. So what else? What's new? Well, we're still out there recruiting. What we've heard is from businesses is that the businesses would like to support this in some way. So we created a corporate and club membership program, and it's $100 to become a corporate or a club member. And we've added this little statement onto the form that says, by joining, we show our support for the creation and development of a permanent drag strip motorsports facility at the Campbell River Airport and welcome the economic impact it'll bring to the community. So that, as we start recruiting these members, I think we can bring that downtown and show that the business community is significantly behind this. And just so you know, we've already got a member. We just started, we got a member. The North Island Cruisers Car Club is the first, first member. I don't know how that happened, but anyway. So, it says coming soon at the bottom. I hope so.